it was beautiful just to retrace those footsteps, to be honest, from Dhul Hulayfa. Obviously, our journey was very different in that we came by car. It took about 5 hours. And when the Prophet ﷺ came with the 124,000 companions, radiallahu anhum ajma'in, it took some 10 days of journeying and arrival into Makkah al-Mukarramah. And, arriving from one haram to another was special, very special, very blessed. And we were in the state of ihram, the state itself, as well as in reflective of our clothing, which always for me is an awe-inspiring event every single time and overwhelming. It's a reflection about the fact that death is at our door. We're literally wearing clothes as if we would wear our own coffin, our own death burial shroud. But of course, it also speaks of the incredible brotherhood and sisterhood in Islam, the equality of people, that there are people who perform Umrah and Hajj of varying degrees. You may have people who are kings and queens of this world, praying right next to and dressed exactly the same as a person who is has much less wealth from developing countries. You wouldn't be able to tell. We are uniformly dressed and beautifully as the men start to approach the black stone for the beginning of their tawaf. They will have to adjust their ihram. And this is again in line with the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, where he took the upper garment, the rida, and he from below his blessed armpit, and he exposed his full right arm, which is known as one of the rites of the Umrah as ittiba'. And what that literally means is to literally flex your muscle. And he marched, he did ramal in the first 3 of his 7 circuits tawaf of the Kaaba. And again, the reason for that is significant. Again, somebody might just say, you just have to do that. But there's always a wisdom behind every act that the Prophet ﷺ did. And this goes back to the reality that the Quraysh, sadly, as part of their mockery of the Muslims who did hijrah from the city of Makkah al-Mukarramah, many of the companions initially, when they went to Yathrib, to Medina al-Munawwarah, they became unwell. And the Prophet ﷺ prayed for the waba, the pandemic that was in Medina, to be removed from the city and moved to Juhfa, another one of the miqat points for the people of Sham, away from Medina Munawwarah. But all these rumors were stirred up by the Quraysh and spread to the Arab tribes. And so when the Muslims came for the first time to perform the Umrah, the Quraysh watched from a vantage point from one of the mountains of Makkah, and looked across at the Muslims, and the Prophet ﷺ knew that they were looking at them, and he showed his blessed right bicep and arm to show power and strength of the Muslims. And only, of course, the men would do this, and that he did ramal, he marched in the first 3. So there's a reason why we do that, and going to the black stone was hugely significant for all of us. This is where you start, and this is known to be, as is mentioned in the Jami' of Imam at-Tirmidhi, a jewel from the jewels of paradise that was descended from heaven, and it was whiter than milk, and through the sons of Bani Adam it was turned black, and now it is known as the Al-Hajar al-Aswad. And we show our love and respect. The Prophet ﷺ kissed the black stone, but obviously due to the sheer number of crowds, we were unable to do that. And so you would just look subtly over our left shoulder and say Bismillahi Allahu Akbar, as we would do in the Salah. And that's the istilam, that's the greeting. That's what istilam literally means. You're greeting the black stone. It's the marker. In the Masjid al-Haram, there are green luminous lights opposite it, so that people are aware that this is the black stone corner. Many people come to the Kaaba for the first time and they're not sure about which of the corners there are. So you'll start at the black stone, and then you will start your tawaf, doing your adhkar, dhikr, salawat, any du'as that you have in your heart, and you will pass by. You'll see again the deep history of the place that you're in. You'll pass by the maqam of Ibrahim alayhi salam, which is encased in a golden case. This is the stone upon which, again, one of the jewels of paradise, where the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam stood on that stone, and his actual blessed footprints are engraved on that stone even till today, and they're encased in that area. You'll pass by that, and then you'll get around to the Iraqi corner as you pass from the Black Stone. And the Iraqi corner, as the name suggests, is the part of the Kaaba which points towards the blessed land of Iraq. And then you will start to see the semicircular wall of the Kaaba, which has, generally known in two terms, Hijr Ismail alayhi salam. This is the house of Ismail Islam, because it's understood that when Ibrahim Islam and Ismail Islam built the Kaaba for the first time, that raised the walls, that this was a place where Hajar Islam and Ismail Islam stayed on that side of the Kaaba. And it's also believed that it's quite possibly the place where they're both buried, and Allah knows best, in the Hijr of Ismail Islam. And this semicircular wall, it seems strange when you see it for the first time. Like, you wonder, why is that there between the Iraqi corner and the Shami corner, which points to the Levant area, modern day Syria and Palestine and Lebanon, the blessed land of Sham. It's because it was originally part of the Kaaba. So you've got to be careful when you do tawaf that you don't go through that area, through the semicircular wall, because that semicircular wall is actually originally part of the Kaaba. And you go around doing the tawaf and you pass by the Shami corner, and then you'll come around to the Yemeni corner, which, as the name suggests, is pointing towards the blessed land of Yemen, and then back round to the Kaaba, so the Black Stone. And again, and at that point, you'll do your istilam again. Every time you pass by the Black Stone, you're paying your respects to the Black Stone. You're doing istilam every single time as you pass by, and that would complete your first tawaf. And you'll continue this for 7 more times. Again, going in this anti-clockwise manner, and the scholars and even scientists even suggest that the whole of the universe and every molecule known to man is moving in an anti-clockwise direction. So we're in line, in sync, in synchronizing with the rest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation. It's not just the planets that are moving in that direction or was in tawaf, but everything on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation is moving in that direction. And it's of course reflective of the angels that themselves who do tawaf around the mighty throne, the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we see this act being performed on planet Earth. It's incredibly beautiful and very moving to see that, and to see the nations of the world descending on Makkah al-Mukarramah to perform the Umrah